It's good to see you again. And as usual, I'm Dr. Iya Zibasi. Welcome to my channel. We're going to be doing the final part of the laboratory posting question series. We're going to be doing the general questions for the final professionals. These questions cut across the 4 labs, your clinical chemistry, histopathology, hematology, microbiology, and immunology. They are general things that a med lab scientist should know. They will cover questions on ethics, on lab organization, lab management, on safety, ethics. What else again? I think so, a little bit of supply chain. So I think it will be very useful to you because it is part of the exams, and these are things that you should know as a medical lab scientist, okay? So hold on. So this is a laboratory posted exams practice, like I've said, it's the general questions. And like I always say, I want to thank you so much for your support. I want to thank you for how you built this channel so far. It's been you, and I'm so thankful. Please don't forget to keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep commenting. Tell us what we're doing well, tell us how we can improve, and share it to some other person. You will never know how much they need information from this channel until you give it to them. So question 1, let's start, be fast and see what we can do. So blood sample collection in medical laboratory requires trained personnel known as A, phlebotomist, B, medical lab technologist, C, receptionist, D, blood donor, E, medical lab assistant. So what do you think is the answer? If you said A, you're correct. So question 2 says, what is the skin disinfectant used during blood collection in medical laboratories? Is it 90% alcohol, 60% alcohol, 75% alcohol, 70% alcohol, or pure sterilized alcohol? So what is your answer? If you said 70, correct. So there are a sequence of events that you have during an IRP, incident response plan. So I want you to arrange these sentences in the correct sequence, okay? So the correct sequence is the process of executing an incident response plan are 1, event occurs. 2, what do we do? 3, perform action from incident response plan. 4, launch response plan. And 5, decide on the next steps. So how would you arrange it? 1 comes first, 2, then 4, before you have 3, and then finally 5. So question 4, I want you to mention 4 responsibility of the medical laboratory scientist to the patient. All right, we have a right to information, discussing family issues with patients, and being kind. Wow. Then B, protection of privacy or confidentiality, consent for laboratory tests to be performed, physical integrity, meaning you give minimal injury to the patient. Then C, self-determination. Then be forceful if you have to when collecting samples. Some people don't like needle pricks. Consent for laboratory tests to be performed, discuss his or her results with very close families for their safety, especially if somebody has like HIV. Protection of privacy, confidentiality, then discuss his or her result with very close family members for their safety. So I think the right one is B, because you shouldn't be discussing family issues with the patient. You should be collecting information that is needed on the form and collecting samples from the patient. You should also be discussing his or her results because you'll be violating the person's privacy or confidentiality. You'll be violating that. So that's the answer. Number 5, what is the name for an organized approach to addressing and managing the aftermath of a security breach or cyber attack, also known as an IT incident? a computer incident or a security incident or security breach in the laboratory. So what is the name for that organized approach to addressing the aftermath of a security breach or cyber attack? Is it A, incident response plan, B, incident responsive plan, C, incident respect plan, D, international response plan, and E, incentivized response plan? The answer is an incident response plan. So question 6, why is it important for you to perform regular maintenance on equipment used in a lab? A, none of the above. What is none of the above? Well, let's look down. B, it is not really important. Is that true? C, customers expect regular maintenance. D, all of the above. E, equipment needs to be in good order. When you're working in the lab, what you want to produce is accurate, precise, and reproducible results. If your equipment is not in good working order, you will not be able to achieve this goal. So you are carrying regular maintenance on equipment because you need your equipment to be in good working order. So question 7, what is the main reason computers used to run laboratory software in a clinical laboratory need to be virus-free? I think they want to say why. Okay, why is the main reason? What's the main reason? I think it's what's the main reason. So what's the main reason? Number 1, staff can't work in an office with viruses. That is serious. We're talking about software, remember. Staff can use it easily, so that staff can use it easily. That's serious. Then D, for security. E, none of the above. When you want to use computers and run your laboratory software, you want there to be security because you don't want breach of confidentiality. You need privacy. You don't want anybody stealing people's information, people's identity. All that can happen. So for security purposes, you want to be able to run virus-free computers. So what does a laboratory manager do? A, maintaining good records. B, scheduling staff. C, oversees operation and scheduling of the lab. D, none of the above. E, all of the above. So what does a laboratory manager do? He does everything that I've mentioned. So question 9, which of the following is a set of regulatory standards for clinical and medical labs that were created to help make sure labs maintain quality assurance? A, Clinical Lab Improvement Amendments. B, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. C, Procedure Manual. D, Standard Operating Procedures. E, none of the above. The answer is Clinical Lab Improvement Amendments. All right. So 10, the ISO 15189 certification is a standard given to medical laboratories to give reliable result outcomes and work on their work. True or false? The answer is true. 11, which ISO standard requires laboratory to have quality manuals? The ISO 10993, ISO 14971, ISO 15189, ISO 62304, ISO 13485. The answer is ISO 15189. So what's the latest version of ISO 15189? The last version as at today, which is I think the 8th or 9th of November. No, 8th or 9th of December 2023, the latest version for now is the 2022 version. So the question 13, what are the benefits of ISO 15189 standard certification? A, customer satisfaction and continuous improvement. B, local and international recognition, risk reduction and mitigation. C, improved team morale and well-being. D, better efficiency and cost saving, thanks to increased quality, testing and validating procedures. E, all of the above. Actually, it's all of the above. If you do have that particular certification, all of this will be met. 14, which ISO is needed for laboratory accreditation? Usually, clinical laboratory accreditation need to be able to adhere to the ISO 17025 for them to be able to have laboratory accreditation. So what are the benefits of quality management system in a clinical laboratory? A, it prevents diagnosis and unnecessary follow-up diagnostic testing. B, it establishes standard operating procedures for each step of the laboratory testing process, ranging from specimen handling to instrument performance validation. C, it defines administrative requirements such as mandatory record keeping, data evaluation, internal audits to monitor adherence to SOPs, and assures the reliability of all aspects of operation. The answer is all of the above, because these are the things you gain when you have quality management system. Then 16, which of the statement is false? This is where it comes to equipment, managing of equipment, taking care of equipment. Number 1, A, calibration is not very necessary for instruments. Can that be true? That's serious. B, calibration is the process of adjusting a device or measuring instruments so that its readings are correct within a specified tolerance. C, the purpose of calibration is to ensure that the results of measurements made with a particular instrument are accurate and consistent. D, calibration is usually done by comparing the readings of the instruments to those of a known standard, such as a master gauge. E, in order to be calibrated, an instrument must first be calibrated against another standard of known accuracy. To my knowledge, B, C, D, and E actually seem to be very true. And what looks false is A. The benefits of calibration of laboratory equipment include maintenance of accuracy, A. B, allows you to detect faulty equipment. That's true. C, it reduces the risk of hazards very much. D, extends the life of instruments and devices. E, all of the above. The answer is all of the above. So I want you to be able to arrange these equipment calibration process steps in the right order. You have number 4 saying the calibration process begins with making a series of standard solutions, each with a known concentration of substance being measured. 1 says these solutions are then used to calibrate laboratory equipment. 3 says the equipment is adjusted until it gives readings that match the known concentration of the standard solution. And 2 says once calibration is complete, the equipment can be used to accurately measure the concentration of substances in unknown samples. So your answer is 4 first, then 1, then 3, then 2. All right? So question 19, which of the following is not a function of a laboratory information system? A, it can help the day-to-day operations run more smoothly. B, it can prevent medical errors. C, it can retrieve lab results that may have been lost by a doctor or patient. D, it can analyze blood samples for markers of various diseases. What we're talking about is the laboratory information system. It doesn't analyze any blood samples. It should be the auto-analyzer doing that. So your answer would be D. 20, question 20. What are or why are standard units important in the biology lab? A, all of the answers are correct. So let's see those answers. B, to reduce confusion. That's true. C, reduce error. D, reduce rounding. E, reduce conversions. What do you think? You need standard units, because if two lab scientists are talking in two different units, sometimes it's really hard to comprehend what the other person is saying. I remember the other day, the person was telling me readings of glucose in milligram per dl, and I know those readings in millimoles per liter. So, and she was telling me 4 readings per day. And as she was just reading out those readings, I had to keep, calculating to be able to understand what she's saying. So you want to reduce confusion, you want to reduce error, you want to reduce rounding and conversions. So question 21, what is the standard unit of body mass index? Body mass index is the ratio of weight over height squared. So your answer will be D. Which of the following is not a lab safety rule? Wear loose clothing, don't drink or eat in the lab, wash your hands, report all spills. All are correct. No, all cannot be correct. You don't wear loose clothing in the lab. Your clothing can enter the Bunsen burner, or it can pick up spillage from the table, which could include blood spillage, feces, and all that. So you don't wear loose clothes. You wear tight-fitting clothes and other things. So question 23, when should you read through lab instructions? After completing the lab posting. By that time, you may have had an accident. As you are doing the lab posting, very high possibility to still happen. Lab instructions are not important. You are actually planning to have an accident before doing the lab posting. Then just ask your partner to tell you the information before you enter any lab and do anything. Please get the lab instructions and know them before you do that lab posting. So question 24, what does PPE mean? A, personal protective equipment. B, private patient education. C, periodic protection episode. D, patient program event. E, none of the above. So it's personal protective equipment. So laboratory, question 25, laboratory personnel are occupationally at risk of infections through the following routes. A, ingestion. B, inhalation of aerosols, I guess. C, exposed to wound or cuts. D, all of the above. E, none of the above. All of them are routes of infections, okay? So question 26, which of the following steps is involved in safe chemical storage? Following storage precautions, very important. B, storing chemicals in easy to access areas. Please don't go and store acids high above your head. You may not know as you're picking it up, it just falls on your head, boom, and the whole thing falls on your body. Have to be careful. C, clearly printing the name of the chemical on the container, that is correct, and clearly printing the date the container was opened. So all these are correct. Question 27, which of the following statements is true? Under the right condition, any chemical reaction can quickly get out of control. B, lab safety only involves wearing protective gear. C, lab safety is the responsibility of the lab supervisor only. D, if a chemical is not labeled, but it looks like another chemical, you can safely assume that they are the same. That is dangerous. E, all chemicals should be stored the same way. Seriously, no, I don't agree with that. So your answer is under the right condition, any chemical reaction can get out of control. Some can become explosive, some can become conflagrating, some can become inflammable, whatever it is. So you have to be very careful. You have to know that you need to control the situations you're working with. So personal protective equipment, that's PPE, you may need to use in the lab includes A, full protective suits. I like that. B, goggles. C, lab coats. D, gloves. E, all answers are correct. E is correct. Question 29, you are a medical laboratory scientist and you're drawing blood sample from a patient. So what phase of the medical lab are you performing when you're taking the sample of blood? Is it A, pre-analytical, B, analytical, C, post-analytical, D, post-analytical, E, none of the above. Is usually pre-analytical. Anything you do before analyzing the sample is in the pre-analytical phase. So errors that take place during the drawing of a blood sample from a patient and documentation of that sample are usually post-analytical, B, analytical, C, pre-analytical, D, post-analytical, E, none of the above. So let me see what you're going to choose. If you did choose pre-analytical, yes, you're correct. So question 31. What is the purpose of a ventilation hood? Wow. A, to contain gases, fumes, and vapors, as well as hazardous biological contaminants before they can escape to the lab or environment. B, to reduce the risk of explosion. C, to contain lab fires. D, to provide a safe breathing area if there is a lab explosion. E, all are correct. A, you want to use a ventilation hood so that you can be able to contain gases, fumes, vapors, and hazardous biological contents when you are working so that you don't get into the lab or into the environment and infect or affect people. So 32, which piece of safety equipment is typically optional in a lab? The eye wash station, emergency shower or safety shower, first aid kit, fire extinguisher. So which one is optional? None are optional. All of them should be in the lab. So this is, I would like you to calculate the lead time in this question. And I guess you know what is the lead time, the time that it takes for you to order something and then for it to arrive and be available for you. So you have a district that places an order, sending the form to the regional warehouse, which takes about 5 days. So you have 5 days there. And it takes 2 weeks for the regional officer to approve the order and send it to the region. So you have 5 plus 2 weeks. That's 17 days. No, 2 weeks is 14 plus 5, 19 days. Okay, then it takes the staff 2 weeks to pick it back up. So you have 28 days plus 5, 28 plus 5, that is, I think, 33. Yeah, and to get the approval to ship the product, then it takes another 5 days, that's 38, for the delivery vehicle to arrive at the district, and another 10 days for the district warehouse staff to count the supplies and place them on the racks. That's about 48 days. That should be, if I round it up, 2 months. So that is your answer. What should we look for when doing a visual inspection? Visual inspection is an inspection you do with your eyes. You're physically present and you're counting the parts, you're opening them and checking them. So what should you do when doing a visual inspection? Circle the wrong answer. That you have to look out for those kinds of things. So A, the package and product integrity, that's correct. The cost of the product, how it concerns you. C, manufacturing defects. D, labeling. E, missing contents of, e.g., a kit. So we'll take cost of the product as the wrong answer. 35, let's say you have 3,000 urinalysis strips in your storeroom. Your consumption for the last 6 months are shown below. How many months of stock do you have? What you're going to do is you're going to calculate your average monthly consumption using the last 3 effective months. So you add July, June, and probably April together, then divide it by 3. If you do that, you will have your average monthly consumption. And then you would divide 3,000 by your average monthly consumption to get your amount of stock. So your answer is 2.5 months. You will have 2.54, which you can round down to 2.5. So that's your answer. The purpose of the laboratory is to provide physicians and other healthcare professionals with information to the following, except to detect a disease and post-disposition to the disease. B, to confirm a diagnosis. C, to guide patient management. D, establish prognosis. E, reject the prognosis. So your answer is A. 37, what are the major roles of a laboratory organization? 1, it aims to lead the laboratory staff to carry out their tasks within limited time and supplies. B, laboratory management aims to provide adequate health services. C, it involves the integration and coordination of various organizational resources like human resources. D, all of the above. E, none of the above. The answer is all of the above. Quality management in laboratory environments involves the following, except A, occurrence management. B, organization, personnel, and equipment. C, purchasing and inventory process control. D, information management, documents, and records. E, none of the above. So what is the answer? It's none of the above, because your laboratory quality, your quality management laboratory environments involve all these things that I have mentioned. So question 39. A set of planned actions to provide confidence that processes other than testing that influence the quality of the laboratory's results and reports are working as expected, individually and collectively, is called quality assurance. So question 40, the laboratory testing cycle consists of your analytic and post-analytic phase. B, your pre-analytic and post-analytic phase. C, your pre-analytic, analytic, and post-analytic phase. D, none of the above. You have your pre-analytic, analytic, and post-analytic phase. I want to thank you for listening, and I want to wish you the best in your exam. I'll see you on the other side of graduation. Bye. Take care of yourself. Bye.